Welcome back to our Good to Great series, where each week we will take what Jim Collins wrote in his awesome book, Good to Great, and we will see how it applies and makes sense with what the Bible teaches. Now, this week we're going to be looking at this concept. Confront the brutal facts and yet never lose faith. So you want to confront the brutal facts, but never give up. You never give up faith. What does that mean? I'm sure you've heard of the ostrich approach, and that is where you see the ostrich that takes its head when it sees something it doesn't want to deal with, and it buries its head right in the sand. Now, when it does that, it's ignoring everything around it. However, you and I both know that as it's ignoring life, guess what? Life is still happening. So if you want to take the ostrich approach and bury your head in the sand and ignore everything, that's a horrible approach to life. Because just because you want to close your eyes and act like nothing's happening, guess what? It's still happening. Life is still moving on. So the best thing you can do is confront the brutal facts. And that's what one of the things that Jim Collins in his book discovered. When he studied good to great companies that went from good to great, that is, went from some backyard idea, Walmart, Walgreens. Look, if you've been following the series, for some reason, I just keep coming up with Walmart and Walgreens. Maybe it's the wall in them. I don't know. But you get the point. These started somewhere, but now you and I can go anywhere and find these stores. One of the themes that he found in these good to great companies is that they had leaders in place that were not afraid to look at reality. He called it confronting reality, yet you never give up faith. You keep believing in what you started out with. All right. So, in the Bible, there are so many different places we can look, but one of them is in the Old Testament with David and Nathan. David was one of Israel's greatest kings. Now, David had a heart for God. However, David had some serious sins in his life, things like murder and adultery. David was confronted by a prophet, Nathan. Nathan went to David and he confronted him with his sins. We don't have time to get in what all that entails, but you can just imagine in those days somebody going to confront a king, really that meant life or death for that person. So when Nathan confronted David, he had to confront the brutal facts. And when he went to David, he went and told him the truth. He said, look, what you did was wrong. Now, what was David's response? David's response after the brutal facts was this: I have sinned against the Lord. I have sinned against the Lord. David took ownership to his own shortcomings. David did not look for excuses. He actually took responsibility for the sins in his life. That says a lot about confronting the brutal facts, plus being available to what God's will is in your own life. So, what Jim Collins is saying is you must confront the brutal facts, but you also must have faith that God's going to continue to work in and through you. All right. Good to great. Lesson number 3. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, share it with a friend. If you're in the business of making a difference, I don't want you to get discouraged during COVID-19. I know this can be a discouraging time. I want you to confront the brutal facts, but do not give up faith.